everyone, Peter Dennis here. Earlier this month, Colleen Bradley introduced me to Lisa Virtue. Lisa's home is the world, and she is currently residing in Ojocho de Osa, Costa Rica. Lisa is a yin and restorative yoga instructor. She is an energy healing practitioner, and for a little over 10 years, she has been channeling a large group of high-vibrational beings, including what we would call archangels, angels, and spirit guides. Lisa regularly brings her channel friends to the stage and has assisted many individuals through her practice of private channel sessions and individual counseling. In today's podcast, the group that Lisa will bring forth has agreed that for our convenience, I could address them by the name Apollo. After I ask Lisa a couple of questions about herself, she will then go into the altered state of consciousness where she can connect with Apollo, and I will then direct some questions to them. So Lisa, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Peter. Nice to be here.
Good. Lisa, would you please provide our audience with just a little information about yourself, where you were born, grew up, and maybe some of your schooling and what you do these days?
Sure. Well, I was born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, but my father's a diplomat, so we moved various places in the world every 3 to 5 years. So I had very international upbringing. My mother was in the psychiatric nursing field, so a loving family. So I feel very privileged to have had a wonderful family to raise me. I see so many people with challenges, and that really does inform a lot of what I do. I was working in film and television production as an editor and a director for many years. And then I got into energy healing and all of that spiritual new age stuff that just over time started to ramp up. And then a bunch of things happened in quick succession. And I really got into it and started offering, sessions for people as a channel, as a healer. And then the video industry had a lull, as it does, and the energy healing took off. And so I just transitioned over. Even though I loved what I had been doing, this was just so much more fulfilling for my spirit that I had to take that on.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been channeling now?
I have trouble recalling when it started. I think around 2009 may have been when that began. I was introduced to it in 2007 when I was editing a video for Abraham Hicks, which I know a lot of people have heard of. And that blew my mind. The content blew my mind. And then I met a local person who was a channeler and got involved in helping him and really wanted to do it so desperately that I pushed it away from myself. And it was a few years before I'd let go of the desperation enough that it came around. And I found a book on how to become a medium, and I was practicing that. And just through that process, eventually tried the channeling, and that was it. That hit for me, and that was easy, and it came through really well, and it felt really good. So
good. Well, having done it for a while, what would you say the impact has been on your life?
Well, certainly just finding out about channeling had a huge impact. And I almost lost my friends and my husband at the time because I became so almost evangelical about, the Abraham Hicks message and what they were doing. So that was a profound impact, and that I stopped being so evangelical about it and then integrated into my life. But it's just being able to connect to spirit shifts so much, because it's like you're connecting with something that has a greater knowing, a greater understanding that gets what life's about. I always have that available as a reference. So it's such a huge comfort to be able to connect with that and get that guidance, put you back on track and help you to see things in a way that's makes more sense. So yeah, I can't imagine life now without it. I used to be very much in my mind, like very mental and thinking and analyzing. And one of the big messages for me was be still, be still. And so to still my mind, to still my body. And that's allowed all of these, abilities that I have to blossom. And so if I was still in that analyzing mind, I think I'd be in much more fear and suffering than I am.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'd like to hear from the beings that you channel. So I'm going to just button up here for a couple of minutes and give you whatever time it takes you to bring them in.
All right.
Apollo, welcome to the podcast.
It is our pleasure to be present with you in this form and format.
Okay. Apollo, would you please elaborate a little bit on what composes your group? I understand there are angels, archangels, and guides. Can you describe the members of your group and the different roles that, say, an angel might have as distinct from an archangel or a guide? I'll just let you run with that for a bit.
All right. Well, today we have a very specific group with us to speak with you. Each time Lisa channels, it is a tailored group who will be communicating depending on what is needed and necessary. It is available to Lisa to channel any being, and she specifically prefers that they be of the highest vibration, for her physical becomes affected for the lower density ones, and it is not preferable. And so we remain clear and clean, as she would say. Mm-hmm. The energies that are being called archangels and angels and guides are all vibrations of source energy, all partitions that have come to partake in your experiences with particular resources. Your labels are your labels, and they help you to identify the type of vibration that is being embodied by that consciousness. Archangels are a level of source's creation that encompasses all of humanity. Their purview or their role is a larger scope, whereas when you have particular angels, they are more focused, a narrow point of view where they have a facility in an area such as your physical well-being or your mental health. And sometimes it's how those two interconnect, since they do. There are many different concepts and roles that angels play. And so we have all of these different beings available for all of their expertise that they offer. Many people work with what you would call Archangel Michael or Gabriel or Raphael, etc. These are available directly to all people all at the same time. Whereas you may find a particular angel is only working with either a smaller group or an individual. There are many, many angels. It is interesting to speak of them in this way because it is a perspective from the human limited or narrowed viewpoint, where you have your individuals. In that other realm, your source energy is all things. But in this universe, which is that of creation, there is a separation required. And so these energies can be viewed in this way. But they have their greater connection to all that is and are aware of it. But they are interacting with the limited realm. And so we speak about them in this manner.
would you fill us in, please, on what your purpose is in channeling through Lisa?
Our purpose in channeling through Lisa is to communicate with all of those she has the ability to have access to help inspire humanity to take that next step in their development. That development is to bring their greater essence more to bear in their human experiences. You see, there has been many years of the particular kinds of struggle that humans have experienced, and there has been a collective request for an upgraded experience, that there has been plenty to explore in how it has been done, and now the elevated version is to have greater awareness of your true nature and to allow that to filter through into living life. And so we come through as a spoken channel and through energies to address the parts of people that are hesitant or familiarized with the old patterns. So we need to speak to the minds to get them to start to relinquish their stronghold on people's being and how they live. It will take some time to encourage those thinking minds to start to relax, that there may be other ways they can live and experience, that the fears that they have been indoctrinated to may not hold as much truth as they believed. And so we encourage the minds to consider, we encourage the energies to release, so that you may come ultimately into the peaceful center of your being, to be able to hear and feel, connect with and experience that without all of the disturbing noise and clutter of the world and your mind, to sit in peace and to emanate that essence of you, and move now then through your living from this greater vantage point perspective, so that you can interact in a way that feels better, that is more love aligned. And this includes your knowing of yourselves, for that is the greatest veil, is the forgetting of your magnificence. And so we are encouraging that as one of our stronger messages as to how you can start to remember, to see, to embrace, to allow and accept that you truly are these beautiful beings made of love. This is our purpose, and we will keep at it in many different forms and ways and inspired teachings in communion with how humans are ready, willing, and able to step forward. We are matching what you are able. Sometimes we offer a greater step, and we get that bearing as to how far you are able to reach. And then we meet you right there and encourage you. It does not have to be a scary process. We take you one step at a time to help you on your way.
And our way is to what we would refer to as the fourth dimension of consciousness?
No.
Oh.
There are many different understandings of these labels of dimension. And so your interpretation of fourth dimension, we feel, may be different from what Lisa has heard as fourth dimension. And so how we will call it instead is that you are stepping beyond the concrete, the only truth being what you can touch and see and feel with your five senses. And you have stepped now into an availability, greater dimensionality, where you can access, connect, communicate, feel, and experience things that are beyond those senses. Of course, you are always referencing from your human senses because you are in human form, but you have these skills such as telepathy and energy interaction or manipulation, working with energies. These are beyond what your third dimensionality is. And you are stepping even further into the ability to commune and connect through that love vibration that unites. So this is developing, and some have jumped in a little further than others, but you are all exploring your new way of connecting from what you would call the heart, from that place of love that is when you are in that beautiful space within you. And Lisa is thinking that this is the term namaste, where you hold your truth and that inner peace, and you are able to radiate out and connect with others in that same place. You meet there, and you call that a different dimension.
Well, you've said so much, and I can imagine that many of the topics you've touched upon would make for great lectures, recordings, things that we can do in the future, and Lisa's already started doing. But as time is running out on us, I was wondering if you have maybe a final message for humanity at this time.
Absolutely, we do. Thank you. Our message, our primary message to you is you are not the limited creatures which you've come to believe, that you have within you the magnificence, the capacity to be complete source energy, unlimited. And right now you are moving through the phases and stages of expanding that awareness. It is not about getting to the end goal of being source now. It is about remembering who you really are and allowing that truth about self to anchor into your experience, to begin or to continue the process of releasing the limits and the fears and step forward into embracing peace, love, joy, self-appreciation, which allows the appreciation of all things. That is most important and will change your world as you connect with that.
Well, thank you very much for that message. And thank you also for being part of this podcast. I look very forward to interacting with you again. Thank you very much.
It is our sincere pleasure to be invited, and we are glad you heeded your spirit guide's call to make this connection. All guides help you in your path, each person, and thank you for listening. We appreciate being part of this today.
Oh, thank you. Well, Lisa, welcome back. How do you feel?
I feel fabulous always after channeling.
Good. Well, Lisa, now, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
The easiest way is by email, which is lisa@lisavirtue.com. And if you want to find out more about me and the things I offer, my website, lisavirtue.com, has all sorts of information and recordings and things for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Lisa, for that. And thank you very much for being on this podcast.
Thank you, Peter. It's been my pleasure.
Well, folks, that's it for our show today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back for some more. You can download and or listen to this podcast or any of the other 50 or so by going to my website at www.peterhdennis.com. Once you're there, click on the podcast tab, scroll down to section number 2, and there you can click on Ingrid's name or photo and listen or download from there. A final point. I've recently started a channeling newsletter. It features some of the channelers with whom I have worked, and it's filled with channeling recordings spanning many fascinating subjects. If you'd like to subscribe to this newsletter, send me an email requesting that you be added to the subscriber list, and I'll see that you get the newsletters from now on. My email address is peter@peterhdennis.com. So until next time, so long for now.